The word of God was rare in those days. What exactly does that mean, do you think? And do you think the same might be said of the times in which we live? The word of God is rare in these days. Rulers of nations use violence and lies to hold on to power. A small percentage of people accumulate obscene amounts of wealth at the expense of the poorest and the most vulnerable. And by that, I don't just mean humans. Unbelievable numbers of people insist on their personal freedom rather than show any responsibility for the common good. If I were to ask you to unmute now and add your examples to bolster my argument, I have little doubt that you would do a good job of it. You would perhaps use up the rest of my homily time. Tempting, but instead, I want to turn my attention to the boy Samuel, a small part of whose story we heard a few minutes ago. Have you ever wondered what that time must have been like for him? What must it have been like to be separated from your family from early childhood and to serve a master like Eli, a leader under whose leadership terrible things were happening, a leader who appeared to be making no effort to make things better? What must it have been like to bed down, not in his own room like his master Eli, but at best on a mat in a lonely corner of the temple, always half listening for the call to get up and do something for someone else? Why does Samuel rise so quickly at the sound of his own name? Is it simply that he is by nature a good, always willing to serve boy? Or has he learned the hard way that he had better be quick in his response to all orders from the adults among whom he serves? In my imagination, Samuel is living with a terrible dilemma. He's old enough now to be aware that all is not right in his world. He knows that Eli's priestly sons are little more than self-serving thugs who steal the best of the temple offerings and rape the women who serve as guards at the entrance to the tent of meeting. No doubt Samuel knows, may even have been befriended or have befriended some of the victims. He wants to say something, do something to stop bad things from happening. Yet, I imagine he also feels some sense of loyalty to Eli, perhaps because of small kindnesses shown through the years, or for benefits attained by association with Eli's powerful family. Or perhaps Samuel has good reason for fear for his own safety and well-being, if he dares to speak out. I can't help but wonder what was going on the day or the days immediately before Samuel settled down for that momentous night of thrice interrupted sleep. What might he have seen or heard that was the last straw for him? What sort of days keeps us awake at night? What disturbs our sleep? What hard to face realities, whether personal, social, or political, are demanding attention we don't want, we may desperately fear giving to them. Living as we are in a time when so many people are avoiding reality in so many ways, on the reality of COVID-19, the reality of election results, the reality of a climate in crisis. Denial has become a virus that is getting easier and easier to catch. And the more that virus spreads, the harder it becomes to remain uninfected by it. In recent years, some theologians, Karen Armstrong among them, have come to use the word reality with a capital R as another word for God. They do this, at least in part, in order to make it clear that they do not believe in and want nothing to do with a bigger than human, yet human-like God. I'm with them all the way on that. For myself, I would say that I seek, sense, and yes, I experience the ultimate, the holy, the source, the unfolding, and the end, not as a being, but as beingness. It's what's there, what's left after all denials and delusions are stripped away. What's there, what's left after all denials and delusions are stripped away. Reality is the bedrock, the foundation of being. Avoidance and denial are never going to prevail against it. It will keep disturbing our peace and our sleep until we face it squarely and deal with its demands. Reality doesn't go away because it can't. And while resistance to it wears us down, may even destroy us if we keep denying it too long, the hope of reality is that when we reach out to embrace it, it lifts us up and holds us in a safety more enduring than the grave. It gives us strength and power to deal with whatever needs to be dealt with. When resisted, reality inevitably works against us. When accepted, it works amazingly toward the greatest possible good. The greatest possible good. So please, let's all bear that in mind when we seek our rest this night. And if, when reality comes calling today or any time, let us say eagerly and gladly, speak, for your servant is listening.